Welcome to Northbeat from Inuvik, Northwest Territories. I'm at the Midnight Sun Complex. I'm directly on the ice. You can see all the action behind me because this is one of the places kicking off the Inuvik Sunrise Festival this weekend. Now, we will bring you live shots of this glow-in-the-dark skate later in the night, but first, the news. Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts in Inuvik, Northwest Territories. We begin in the Yukon, where Dawson City is dealing with two water main breaks. One happened earlier this week, closing Robert Service School on Thursday and Friday. Another broke Thursday afternoon, leaving many residents and businesses without water. Out of caution, the town is issuing a boil water advisory for all Dawson households connected to the town's water system. Chris McIntyre has the latest.
While crews are still working on it, the first water break has been fixed. Students should return back to school on Monday. The second break happened here, causing water to pour out onto the sidewalks, turning streets into sheets of ice. Businesses and homes in the vicinity are without water, and crews are still working to repair this break. The Trondikwajan First Nation says citizens who have no water can use the TH Hall for water and sanitary services. The First Nation is asking citizens whose pipes are frozen to call 993-3880. The town has also opened up the Art and Margaret Fry Recreation Center so residents can use water and shower services if they need to. The town's chief administrative officer says cold temperatures are behind the break. He is urging people to conserve their water during this time. Crews are doing their best to resolve the issue as fast as they can, meanwhile dealing with temperatures near minus 40 degrees. No timeline has been given as to when the work will be completed and water restored to everybody again. Chris McIntyre, CBC News, Dawson City.
Despite closures on the Dempster Highway, Inuvik's mayor is comfortable about the town's gas supply. Peter Clarkson says 3 or 4 propane supply trucks made it in overnight, and they were also able to get the Ickhill well producing natural gas again. Clarkson says residents have also stepped up to conserve gas, shaving 15,000 liters of use per day since Tuesday when they were first asked. That's a reduction of more than 20% per day. RCMP and Fort Smith NWT say they have arrested a man wanted in connection with an armed robbery. The incident left one person seriously injured. Carla Ulrich has that story.
Police say 32-year-old Teron Stevens was arrested at a residence in Fort Smith. The arrest happened late Thursday night, and Stevens has been remanded into custody. Before that arrest, some Fort Smith residents say they were caught off guard after learning days later that the suspect was still at large in the community. The RCMP issued a public alert on Tuesday, 2 days after the incident. The delay left some people trying to determine the actual risk. Fort Smith resident Trent Stokes says the lack of clarity caused confusion.
I had to read between the lines to see that this man is still out there, possibly carrying a weapon still. That was a little concerning for me.
Stokes says the delay also meant residents didn't know whether they needed to take precautions. For parents like Bev Chapelski, that uncertainty meant focusing on their children. Chapelski is a Fort Smith mother of 3. While she didn't feel her family was at risk, she says her first priority was making sure her kids were safe.
I had picked up my kids from school and at lunchtime had a conversation about, RCMP are asking for assistance, and we made sure our doors were locked and that my children were being picked up and dropped off at their work, school, and hockey.
RCMP say the investigation began January 4th when police received a report that a person had been assaulted and robbed with a firearm at a residence in Fort Smith. The victim was seriously injured and flown out of the community for medical treatment. Stevens now faces multiple charges, including robbery with a firearm, aggravated assault, and possession of a weapon for a dangerous purpose. He was scheduled to appear in court today. Carla Ulrich, CBC News, Fort Smith.
In Nunavut, a 47-year-old Pond Inlet man is facing a number of charges after an incident that put part of the community into a lockdown. It happened on Wednesday afternoon. RCMP say they got a report that a man was ramming an ATV into a house. Police began their investigation and were notified a man had assaulted a female and that a firearm may have been involved. Schools and local offices were placed on lockdown as a precaution until police arrested the man. No firearms were located. The man is now facing 7 charges, including assault by choking. Air North has responded to recommendations from the Yukon's chief coroner. They stem from a coroner's inquest into the death of a man at Air North's compound in November 2022. Hugh Riffle was shot and killed by an RCMP officer after entering the Whitehorse compound with a gun. Troy Fitzpatrick reports.
President Joe Sparling says Air North has reviewed the recommendations from the inquest. Members of the jury recommended Air North ensure it has an emergency protocol and that all employees participate in emergency response drills, and that staff parking be moved outside the secure area and all workspaces have locks on doors. In his response, Sparling said Air North has an emergency response protocol and employee onboarding includes safety training. He said Air North is also constructing a new hangar, which involves relocating the access gate such that staff parking will be outside of the secure area. He added that as of 2024, all indoor spaces had locks on doors where feasible. During the inquest, several Air North employees testified they were unaware of Air North's emergency response plan. Sparling said Air North will conduct a review of its employee safety training. Tori Fitzpatrick, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Whitehorse General Hospital's outpatient laboratory has implemented a new way to let patients know how long their wait time will be. The new system started this week. Isabella Calisi explains how it all works.
If you're heading to Whitehorse General Hospital's outpatient lab for blood work, you'll now see this, a large stoplight and daily counter style counter on the wall. This is part of the hospital's plan to let walk-in patients know how long the wait is going to be. Green means less than 30 minutes, yellow up to an hour, and red means more than an hour. This allows patients to decide if they have the time to wait.
We're super conscious about our patients, especially those that have to bring young children or kids from school or an elderly grandparent. It's very difficult not knowing how long you're going to be waiting for a service. So what we're doing is just trying to give that information to them ahead of time so they can make that decision.
The wait time is also manually updated on the hospital's main webpage so people can check before they even leave the house. And the changes don't stop there. Solberg says they've also recently introduced a happy or not terminal inside the lab. Patients can rate their wait time experience through the button on the way to their appointment. And the ratings come to Solberg's department in real time, letting them see if they can do anything to speed things up.
Wait times and services in the hospitals, it's very dynamic and the situations change quite rapidly. And so it could just be a specific event that's happening that is taking the teams, a couple of team members in working with either a very complex or a very sick patient. And that does have an impact on the ability to see other patients. So it really is just giving us a window to understand what's happening, what can we do. If there's things that we can do, we absolutely do it.
Solberg says patients can hope to see more changes like these coming in the future, including a similar system for wait times coming to their emergency room and x-ray department. She adds, this is all part of the hospital's plan to reduce wait times and create a better experience for patients. Isabella Calisi, CBC News, Whitehorse.
Some community members in Inuktitut Kivalliq region say waiting in the Rankin Inlet airport for medical travel is difficult and uncomfortable, but a new terminal could help change that. Bianca McEwen has that story.
Rene Aguk has traveled out of the territory once a month for 9 years straight. He travels from Arviat to Rankin Inlet to Winnipeg for healthcare for his daughter, who has a physical disability. Rankin Inlet does not have a medical boarding home where people can stay while they wait for care, so many people wait for hours in the airport.
It's tiring, and it's struggling mentally and physically, especially with the condition with the disabled people. This is very difficult at times because most of the time we do not have place to go.
He says the current terminal has a small waiting room, limited seating, and food options. His daughter often has a hard time.
Sometimes she cries because she's getting impatient to get on the plane and keeps asking constantly, when are we going to hop on?
Francois DeWet is a family doctor and Nunavut's health chief of staff. He acknowledges the no boarding home is a problem.
The biggest issue in Rankin Inlet is the lack of a boarding home. So we don't have a boarding home like we have in Inuktitut and Rankin Inlet. So we are a little bit limited in terms of the amount of people that we can bring in.
But Rankin Inlet is set to open a new terminal. Last year, Darren Nicole, the director of Nunavut Airports Division, told CBC the new terminal will be about 40,000 square feet, triple the size of the current one. In an email, Heather Grant with the GN's Transportation and Infrastructure Division said the new terminal will seat 200 people, and she says phase 1 of construction is set to complete this year. Aguk says it's been a long time coming. He's watched the terminal be built over the years.
We feel like getting impatient to use the new terminal that is about to be opening, and hopefully they will provide more comfortable sofas, especially for the elders.
He says, though the new terminal may be better for waiting, it would be more helpful if there was a boarding home like there is in Inuktitut. So his daughter has a comfortable place to stay while waiting for healthcare. Bianca McEwen, CBC News, Inuktitut.
The government of Nunavut is encouraging people to get vaccinated against measles ahead of the Arctic Winter Games. The games begin March 8th in Whitehorse. The GN says if there is a measles exposure at the games, people who cannot provide proof of immunization will have to isolate in Whitehorse for 3 weeks. Attendees are encouraged to bring a copy of their records with them. Team Nunavut is recommending that people verify their immunization status and take any follow-up doses. If you are an NHL fan, then you may have already heard the news. 3 upcoming Hockey Night in Canada games will be broadcast in Inuktitut. Saturday night's face-off between Vancouver Canucks and the Toronto Maple Leafs starts at 7 p.m. Eastern on ABTN. David Ningyonung will be delivering the play-by-play. Now, this is his far from his first time. What it's like to be back.
It's been a great show, a lot of elders tune in back home, and so they look forward to, watch the game in their own language and not just Hockey Night in Canada in English or Punjabi. So we're really excited to be part of the team, to be able to give our game in our language to our people in the north.
Ningyonung covered hockey games in Inuktitut at the 2022 Winter Olympics, and before that he commentated on local hockey in Rankin Inlet. But he says it's not always intuitive to translate hockey terminology.
For example, icing. We didn't have a word for icing in Inuktitut, and one of the arena workers had suggested maybe if you call icing sipkutiyo, that would make sense. And so up to today, we use the word icing in English, sipkutiyo in Inuktitut. So just a few things. For puck, we use aksanguakuluk. If someone has a better suggested name for a puck, we're definitely interested in hearing what we could change it to. Aksanguakuluk it just looks like a ball, but really there's no real name for a puck in Inuktitut. So if there's suggestions out there, we're more than happy to take on the suggestion.
People can also see Inuktitut broadcasts on January 31st when the New Jersey Devils face the Ottawa Senators, and on February 28th when the Calgary Flames take on the Los Angeles Kings. Now, we also have some Olympic hockey news for you. 16 veterans from the team that dominated their way to gold in Beijing will now lead the Canadian women's hockey team into next month's games in Italy. And they are all under the lead of the nation's highest golden Olympic goal-scoring hockey player ever. Jamie Strachan has that story.
The 23-woman roster will be very familiar to Canadians. 16 of these players have represented Canada at the Olympics before. 7 new players on the roster. Going into these Olympics, Team Canada will be in a very unfamiliar role, the role of underdog. Many people looking at the American team as the gold medal favorite heading into Italy. Members of Team Canada say, bring it on.
I personally love being an underdog. I love having to fight and having to battle and compete as an underdog, but I think a lot of people thought about us losing at the most recent World Championship, and they saw the results of those 4 rivalry series games, and they completely forgot about everything that's happened since we won gold in Beijing.
Much of the narrative around Team Canada being the underdog in these Olympics go back to the rivalry series that Team USA and Team Canada played at the end of last year. Team Canada was thoroughly outplayed in that series, being outscored 24-7 over the course of 4 games. And the American team just simply looked faster to the puck in almost every different situation. The general manager of Team Canada, former national team player Gina Kingsbury, says, listen, can we adjust that overnight? No, but we'll be ready for the Americans nonetheless.
I think it's the way we play and how we deploy our athletes. Those are all factors that we consider. I think we've got a realistic approach going into these games. I don't think we're blinded by maybe some of our gaps, but we're going to focus on our strengths and how we ensure that that doesn't affect the results in the end. But I think you can look at it on all different sides. I think we've got things that the Americans don't have, and we'll make sure to use that to the best of our ability.
Team Canada will get an early look at the Americans in Italy. Both teams in the same pool, so they'll play each other in the preliminary rounds. But looking at history, the 2 teams will most likely meet in the finals. Every Olympics since women's hockey became a medal sport, it's been Team USA and Team Canada competing for the gold medal, expected to be no different in Italy this winter. Jamie Strachan, CBC News, Toronto.
Comments from U.S. President Donald Trump about Greenland continue to reverberate across the globe. This isn't the first time he said that he wants the country, but it's taken new urgency after the U.S. used military force to arrest Venezuela's president. For more on how this is affecting Inuit in Greenland and beyond, I sat down with Herb Nakamaya. He's the interim president of the Inuit Circumpolar Council Canada. Here's our conversation. Herb, thank you so much for being here with me today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's good to be here, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. A bit of a tumultuous start to the year, perhaps. I'm just wondering what discussions have been going on in ICC in general with these kind of renewed comments about Greenland, but they happened before as well. So what have the discussions been like?
Well, the discussions within ICC as a whole, as you know, ICC spans across from Chukotka and the Russian Federation, Alaska, which is USA, us here in Canada, and then as well Inuktitut, Greenland. So we span over the four nations in the whole Arctic. This occurred last year as well too. So ICC, Inuktitut, and ICC as a whole put out a statement on this, stating that Greenland is not for sale. And the discussions between Inuit is that we want the Arctic to remain peaceful in a place where there's cooperation to continue through our work through diplomacy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one of the things ICC has been, kind of lobbying for, I would say, in general terms, is getting a seat at tables when it comes to Arctic decisions. I've certainly been hearing a lot of international reaction, some reaction coming out of Europe about this because, of course, Greenland's colonial connections to Denmark. Does ICC feel as if, they have a strong enough voice and people have been coming to them enough with all of this?
I think so. Certainly for us as Inuit, the Arctic, there's interest in the Arctic, and a lot of countries have some very long-term plans where we live in a democracy and we, go 4 years at a time, with a long-term plan. Greenlanders, Inuit in Greenland, have been working towards self-determination for a long, long time, with the Kingdom of Denmark. So that's nothing new. We certainly respect that. As all Inuit nations, as Indigenous people, we certainly have. We're all working towards our own self-determination across all the Arctic Inuit Nunangat. So we are certainly working towards that, and it's still a goal, and we're finding ways to make one stride at a time.
Yeah, it's interesting that these comments are coming amidst, renewed pushes over the past several years from Inuit in Greenland for their own self-determination. I mean, from a Canadian perspective, what are you hearing from Inuit in Canada about all of this?
For Inuit in Canada, of course, we have relatives in Greenland. We're just because these statements are coming out from world leaders, it does not divide us as Inuit. We are united, and we stand to protect our rights as we are rights holders, and ensuring that that there's safety, a sense of security for every Inuit in this world, no matter where they are. Because we do a lot of work. Our work is globally around this world. With the United Nations, the Arctic Council, all of these forums that we tend to have been inserted by our forefathers, and Inuit with a vision to ensure that our rights-based approaches are respected, our knowledge systems are respected around the globe, and we are still working towards ensuring that they become recognized and also provide sound recommendations for sound policy around the globe.
We began this conversation with you, noting that the goal is peace across all the regions and everyone cooperating. So what do you see over the next, let's say, couple of weeks, maybe couple of months, the ICC's role will be in this?
Well, here in Canada, we play a supporting role to ICC Classic Nunet. Our chair is currently held by Greenland right now, and we want to ensure that they have the space, the time, and the respect to do the work that needs to be done. Certainly, we have a lot of plans this year, and we also have a lot of forums that we need to continue to be present at, to advocate for Inuit, advocate for Indigenous knowledge and Indigenous rights, and not just for Inuit, but other Indigenous peoples around this world, because we really feel that as ICC, spanning across the 4 countries, we do have a voice, especially when it comes to Arctic issues.
Anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to give one more example, if that's okay. One example of successful international collaboration is the Minamata Convention on Mercury, which is at the United Nations. The Minamata Convention is a global legally binding agreement adopted in 2013 and entered into force in 2017, which we talk about mercury and the impacts of mercury, whether it be from gold mining, or in how the contaminants travel up to the Arctic and impact human health, the health of migratory species like beluga whales, which we've been studying for over 50 years now, and our data as Inuit has been a great contributing factor to how mercury is used in many products around the world. So, and Inuit have been there from the beginning. So we have a long-standing relationship with these forums where we definitely drive sound policy globally at the United Nations to bring around the globe. So we've certainly made positive impacts there, and we continue to do so, and we do around the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. Herb, thank you so much for this conversation. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us today. Thanks.
The sea ice in Inuktitut, Nunavut was finally forming for the season until last week. Warm weather and strong winds hit the community. Snow melted and the sea ice blew away. It's all bizarre for this time of year, but locals say it is good for one thing. The CBC's Caitlin Joannis tells us why.
For several years, Inuktitut residents have been experiencing warmer than normal weather, but recently they were hit with the gusts of 160-kilometer winds and some rain, and those strong winds blew away the sea ice. Madeline Kumatok is a resident of Inuktitut.
Where our ice fishermen and seal hunters would normally go at this time on the sea ice. But there's no sea ice because of the warm weather we've been having.
Instead, she says the hunters have been going out boating again, and with the full moon affecting the tides, some community members, such as Jessica Appalelu, were able to get clams in the dead of winter.
We picked clams in January for the first time. I got to do what I love doing.
Akbaleluk says they went to the shore by the fish plant to pick the clams and did not even have to dig to harvest them at times. She says it was not cold at all, and she didn't even have to wear many layers to keep warm. According to Natalie Hazel from Environment and Climate Change Canada, the Baffin Island area has been experiencing weather that has been 20 to 30 degrees warmer than usual for this time of year.
Well, this winter in Nunavut, we should continue to see some above normal temperatures for the next while.
But she says those temperatures could still fluctuate. Caitlin Jonas, CBC News, Iqaluit.
That warm weather is affecting other parts of Nunavut as well. Some hunting grounds near Pond Inlet have been closed off due to thin ice conditions. The decision was made by the Hamlet, Search and Rescue, the local Hunters and Trappers organization, and elders. The Hunters and Trappers organization says hunters contacted them for help after encountering dangerously thin ice along their normal route. The organization and Search and Rescue were able to guide them safely over video chat.
This area is thin, and this area is even slushy, and they are so close together. There had been people that crossed that area, but it hasn't gotten cold again since. So before it gets any more dangerous, and before the help we send face any more trouble, our elders advised us to close the area.
Pitsiolak says the areas are closed until further notice. He's asking community members to rely on elders for advice and for the conditions they're seeing while out on land. And that is Northbeat for tonight. I've got some friends here to say goodbye. Now for news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for joining us this week from Inuvik, Northwest Territories. Do you want to wave goodbye, guys? Bye! Bye! We're going to leave you with a live look at the glow-in-the-dark skate. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a great weekend. Bye!
Wait, was already done?
Well, now they're going to go